Hello and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today. This episode is dedicated to the Egyptian-South Korean relations as South Korean President Moon Jae-in is due in Cairo from Wednesday to Friday, the first visit to Egypt by a South Korean president in 16 years. At a press conference earlier this week, the South Korean ambassador to Cairo said that President Moon's visit to Egypt comes as a part of regional tour that also included the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. More about the visit in this report.
South Korea's President Moon Jae-in visits Egypt on Wednesday, the first by a South Korean president in 16 years. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's invitation was extended for Moon to discuss bilateral cooperation in sustainable growth and bolstering future cooperation in various fields. The South Korean president's visit will begin with an official reception ceremony and a bilateral summit taking place. President el-Sisi and Moon will hold a business roundtable to discuss renewable industries and the development of eco-friendly infrastructure. South Korea and Egypt's strategic partnership in 2016 has played a role in the advancement of the relationship between the two countries, with special regard to the rate of trade exchange. South Korea's presidential spokesman reiterated the importance of the relationship between Egypt and South Korea, with Cairo being the international logistics hub and the base country for Korean corporate advancement in Africa.
And the Minister of Trade and Industry, Naveen Gema, revealed on Sunday that trade exchange between Egypt and South Korea registered $1.89 billion during the first 10 months of this year, of the year 2021, an increase of 46.9% from the same period in 2020. Gema added that Egyptian exports for the Korean market achieved during this period an increase of 62.3%, reaching $531.5 million compared to $327.5 million in the same period last year. Details in this report.
The volume of trade exchange between Egypt and South Korea increased to $2.1 billion in the period from January to November 2021. The volume of trade exchange between the two countries amounted to $1.8 billion in 2019, while in 2020 it recorded $1.5 billion due to the pandemic. Egypt has a strategic location that combines Europe, Africa, and Asia. Moreover, the Suez Canal, the most important characteristic of Egypt in the region, makes the country a logistical global hub. South Korea's ambassador to Egypt said that 90% of Egypt's exports in the field of electronics are produced by South Korean electronics companies working in Egypt. He confirmed that during President Moon's visit to Egypt, several agreements will be signed in the fields of water desalination, renewable energy, developing railways, electronics, and electric cars, and a working group will be formed to discuss a free trade agreement to a broader trade and economic partnership agreement between the two countries. Additionally, on the sidelines of Moon's visit, Egypt will be provided with a soft loan of $1 billion from Korea to finance various projects.
And to shed more light on the importance of this visit, we are joined over the phone by Mrs. Amira Saeed. She is a journalist and international relations expert. Good afternoon, Mrs. Amira.
Good afternoon.
So, as I've just mentioned, that the South Korean president is due to start a visit to Egypt on Wednesday, and it is the first by South Korean president to the country in 16 years, and also the first to an African country. So, how do you see the importance of this visit?
Definitely. Yeah, actually, there is a remarkable progress in the bilateral ties between two countries, especially within the framework of the comprehensive cooperative partnership between Egypt and South Korea that took place in 2016 during the visit of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. I think that this visit will help to give extra boost to bilateral ties. It will open up new horizons for mutual cooperation. According to the South Korean ambassador ambassador here, he mentioned that there will be more cooperation agreement that will be signed during this visit, especially that there is, like we can say, a fruitful partnership between the two countries. For example, in the electronics domain, there are many successful partnerships with major South Korean companies here in Egypt. Also, there is a cooperation in developing the railway. There is a railway between Luxor and Nagah Hammadi that is implemented by a Korean company, and there will be more progress in the cooperation in this field. Definitely selecting Egypt to be the first African country to be visited by the president, by the Korean president since he took office, it has a great significance because Korea knows the pivotal role played by Egypt not only in the Middle East but in Africa in general. Definitely the timing of this visit is very important, and I think it will create more momentum in the upcoming period.
So, Mrs. Amira, as you've just mentioned, it is a very important visit, and there are many topics to be discussed by the two presidents. So, can you tell me more about the meeting's agenda and what are the shared views between both presidents?
Yeah, definitely the Korean president follow up the implementation of the projects that have been agreed upon in the last period, and will also even discuss more projects that will be implemented in the upcoming period. As I told you, there is a comprehensive cooperative partnership agreement between the two countries, so there will be like more focus on this partnership. There will be also discussions regarding the Egypt-Korea free trade agreement, as the Korean president will be accompanied by a delegation of businessmen and experts. And also there will be a presidential joint press conference where both presidents will dive into details about the outcomes of this visit. One of the main topics and fields of cooperation that will be tackled during this visit is the cooperation in the green energy, especially that Egypt has been making strides in this domain, and Egypt is also to host COP27 this November. So South Korea is also trying to help Egypt in this topic. There will be, according to the Korean ambassador here in Egypt, he said that there will be a round table to discuss the clean energy and also the environmentally friendly industries. So I think this visit, it will lead to more cooperation in the upcoming period.
Yes, also we just mentioned about the South Korean Egyptian Roundtable for Green Industries. It will be held to discuss ways of cooperation in green industries. Would you shed more light on this, and what would Egypt benefit from Seoul in the field of green industries, and how can we benefit from their experience in this domain?
Yeah, look, Egypt now is to host COP27, and also Egypt will be the first African country to host this important event. So now Egypt is trying to share experience with other countries. When we are talking about green energy and renewable energy, Egypt is pioneer in wind power. Egypt is pioneer in solar power and also hydropower. So Egypt has its own successful experience. So it's very important also to open, or we can say lay foundation for constructive dialogue with other countries like South Korea. South Korea also, it has adopted many modern technologies in the field of renewable energy, so it's very important to learn from their experience, especially that COP27, now we have to admit that the climate change, its impact is now a global concern. It is now on the top of the agenda of all governments. So it's very important to enhance dialogue in this domain in order to deal with such challenges from a broader and holistic perspective. So I think in the upcoming period there will be more cooperation between the two countries in the field of renewable energy. As I told you, Egypt has been making strides in this field, and also it is going to host COP27. So it's very important to share knowledge and experience in this field.
Yes. Also, the two presidents are expected to discuss South Korea's participation in Dab'a, a nuclear power plant establishment, along with Russia. So, can you shed more light on this cooperation?
Yeah, as I told you now, Egypt is opening up new horizons for cooperation in diverse domains. Definitely, nuclear power is one of the main domains that will witness cooperation between the two countries. So far, according to this, the Korean ambassador, there will be agreements related to this field, but actually we do not have more information about the details of the agreement. But I think the upcoming period, the mechanism of such a cooperation, what are the projects that are going to be implemented by South Korea in this project, it will be revealed in the upcoming period. But definitely, the announcement of South Korea that it is keen on cooperating with Egypt in this field, it is a milestone in bilateral ties.
Yes, also prior to the visit, the South Korean ambassador said that the two big Korean companies, electronic companies, have already reached an agreement to produce their products here in Egypt and export it with a label made in Egypt on it. How significant is this move?
Yeah, definitely the cooperation between the two countries in electronics domain, it is a striking example of the progress in bilateral ties. According to the South Korean ambassador, 90% of the electronics imported by Egypt to other countries, it is made in cooperation with Korean countries. So this is very significant. And also, Korea is proud that all these products, they are exported under the label made in Egypt, because Egypt also has its own experience. Egypt has well-trained manpower. So definitely there is a mutual interest between the two countries to enhance the cooperation in this field. Yeah.
Yes, Mrs. Amira, also South Korea announced that it will contribute to the implementation of President Sisi's Decent Life Initiative by... Yes, Ms. Amira?
Yes.
Yes, South Korea has announced that it will contribute to the implementation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's Decent Life Initiative by establishing a number of eco-friendly industries and transport networks. Would you please elaborate on the Korean expertise also in the green technology and renewable energy, and also its keenness to contribute to Decent Life Initiative?
Yeah, basically the presidential initiative Decent Life garnered widespread admiration of all countries worldwide. It has become a model for the decent life of citizens, especially that Egypt is giving a top priority to this initiative. Regarding the contribution of South Korea to this initiative, one of the main aspects of this initiative is also to provide adequate environment for citizens. So definitely there will be cooperation in eco-friendly projects, and we have examples of mutual cooperation between Egypt and other countries in major renewable energy projects. We have, for example, Benban solar power. We have a solar power plant. We have already in Egypt many successful international partnerships. So now I think this visit in this timing, it will be like a model for regional and international cooperation between the two countries. Regarding developing the transportation system or road network, I told you that already there is a successful project between the two countries in developing railway between Luxor, Naga, Hamadi, and according to the South Korean ambassador, we are expecting another project to develop railway between Luxor, Haidam, Aswan. So there will be more developments in the upcoming period. Also, localizing modern technologies in order to desalinate seawater, it will be one of the main topics that will be discussed in the upcoming meeting. It's very important now to localize such modern technologies here in Egypt. So I think that we will see more tangible results on real ground in the upcoming period.
Yes, Ms. Amira, one final question. If we talk about the foreign relations and Egypt's foreign relations, development of foreign relations under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as we have seen that there is expanded and progressed relations over the past years. So would you please trace the track of bilateral ties progress between the two countries?